don't know much, but I do know what love is. I know emptiness. I know what it feels like to be trapped. I also know what it means to be free. I know some of the world's most beautiful songs are ones that have never been sung. I know what it's like to stand on the edge of a cliff with fully functional wings but clipped confidence, scared that the impact of crashing into that glass ceiling will somehow hurt more than falling to the floor. Lord knows I need to jump. I know that we as men will blatantly lie to a woman's face in the name of protecting her feelings, and I know that men ain't the only ones who could be scandalous. I know that God believes in far more than second chances. See, I've been to church with the devil sitting on my shoulders, and I swear to God, I swear it was so hard to stand up when they prayed. What I'm trying to say is I know pressure. I know the weight of the world rests on my tongue. Yo, Chief, maybe that's why we're so misunderstood. I know I've learned from some of my mistakes, and I know I have plenty more to make. I don't know much, but I do know I've lived long enough to know that I don't know anything. I know they don't like my skin. I know what it's like to experience hate, only to pray, forgive, and experience again the very next day. I know you better keep your hands on that steering wheel until he asks for your ID. And I know if he lets you go, you better drop down to your knees and thank God that you make it to see that next block. But I'm not dumb. I know I can still get shot by a cop around the corner. I know my skin isn't popular, but my culture is. I know my skin isn't popular, but my culture is. I know I fear the day I have to explain racism to my kids after they've experienced it. I know cops who patrol black neighborhoods should receive a welcome packet that consists of a pack of Skittles, a spittle of CDs, an Arizona iced tea, and a jar of Black Boy Innocence. And I know with this gift God gave me, people will constantly judge me for my views, so I'm trying to get right with God, but y'all, I'm conflicted. I keep smoking weed while trying to read scripture or listen to TD Jakes on YouTube, and I know some of you Christians are going to judge me for that line too. I just hope you forgive me for my honesty. You know, the same way you ask God to forgive you for your lies. I know that somewhere in America there is a mother reading a Raisin in the Sun, trying to distract herself from the struggles she's facing, trying to raise a son who can't seem to raise his grades but knows how to raise a gun. I know she prays in between pages that he stays safe while she works late, and I know before she goes to work, she'll go in the kitchen, cook him up a plate, leave it on the stove, even though she knows she should be getting some sleep that's long overdue and much needed, and I know when he gets home, he won't need it. He's too full of sin to have a taste of heaven right now. So he'll leave it right there on the stove because he knows when she gets home, she's going to be hungry. And off that gesture alone, she will know there is still hope for him. I know it's hard raising a young black boy in an old white world. I know I don't want to die. I know that God is the reason why I'm still alive. Alive, like the people in Palestine deserve to be alive. I don't know much. But I do know I've lived long enough to know that I don't know anything. My mom used to tell me, and I didn't understand what she meant when she would tell me. She would be like, the older you get and the smarter you become, the more you'll realize how much you don't know. And I wish I could get some more game from my mom, but my mom doesn't fuck with me anymore. And I think I'm being honest on stage with you guys about that because I'm trying to get comfortable with the uncomfortable truth. My happiness gets in the way of her happiness. It's like oil and water somehow. And then you learn that you have to set boundaries, and then you learn that titles sometimes can mask who the people actually are, and sometimes you got to take away the title in order to look at them for who they are so you get a better understanding so you can process this shit yourself, you know what I'm saying? But it's fucking with me because I think about how hard I've championed for her my whole life. Like, you know, as a kid, you know, people make jokes, and I used to hate when people, I'm the type, you say some shit about my mama, we fucking fighting. Just off top, we fighting. That's just what it is. I remember they used to be like, your mama's so black, she drinks water and pees coffee. They be like, your mama's so black, lightning bugs follow her around in the daytime. They'd be like, right. They'd be like, your mama so black, she went to night school and got marked absent. And I'm not like a super like witty, clever, quick person. I'm one of the people like some shit happened to me. I'm stuck in shit, and then like 10 minutes later when it's too late, I got some shit to say. So I was reminiscing about all the times they was talking shit about my mama, and like a year ago I thought of some responses, so fuck it. Your mama is so conditioned, right? She refused to have sex with a dark-skinned man because she thought having a baby by a light-skinned one would give you a better chance. Your mama's so dumb, she thought a light-skinned one would treat her better. Your mama's so poor, her face is on front of the food stamps. Your mama's so poor, she bounces food stamps. Your mama's so poor, she keeps putting half of what she makes into a lawyer to defend a crime you won't admit that you committed. Oh, sorry, that one wasn't funny. Your mama's so poor, burglars break into the house and leave her money. Your mama's so poor, she's having a hard time trying to afford to feed these grandkids her daughter created but doesn't really raise. Your mama's so black, she looks like a picture of outer space with no stars. Your mama is so black, the last man she had beat her until she saw stars. Your mama is so black, she's 65 with 3 jobs and retirement is nowhere in sight. Your mama's so black, she refuses to give up. Your mama's so black, she worked just as hard as our ancestors who picked cotton and tended to the white man's yard. As a matter of fact, your mama's so black, her second job is tending to the white man's yard, despite his attempts to tend to her secret garden. Your mama is so black, she sacrificed everything so her kids can have a roof over their heads. Your mama's so black, one of her kids are dead. 2 are in prison and she can't look out of her bedroom window without seeing bars. Your mama is so black, she's lived in a violent neighborhood all of her life. Thank you, gentrification. Yo, did you know your mama was so poor, she sacrificed all the food on her plate and fed herself off of her own frustration? Your mama is so black girl magic, she can pull a rabbit out of a broken top hat, send you to school full with her pockets on empty, but your mama's stressed and her hair falling out. And when she pull up to your school, they be like, ha, your mama so bald. When she put on a turtleneck, she look like a busted condom. They don't know your mama got cancer. They don't know your mama's so protective. She never told you your father said he wish she would have flushed you down with that condom. Your mama is so tough because she's had more stones thrown at her than opportunities. And with her hands tied behind her back like that time she was raped, she grew up having to catch the stones with her face, so now your mama is ugly. Your mama is so ugly, they filmed gorillas in the mist in her shower. Your mama is so tired, she only has time to cry in the shower. Your mama is so ugly, she wouldn't know beauty, she finally took the time to look herself in the mirror, which she only does while getting ready for another 18-hour workday, but your mama's getting old now. Your mama's so old, her birth certificate say Dr. Jesus. No, your mama's so old, she's starting to forget the things that she says. Your mama's so old, she's starting to begin her sentences with, in case I don't make it. Do you know your mama sacrificed all the food on her plate and just can't seem to take it? Your mama, Parkinson-riddled hands can't seem to hold on to an answer. Your mama has been a fighter all her life, but still can't seem to beat this thing they call cancer. Your mama is so old, it's starting to hurt her throat to laugh at these jokes that don't really feel like jokes, I guess. She had to swallow her pride one too many times because now your mama's having a problem opening her eyes. Wake up, mama. Your mama has an obituary now. Your mama was so black. My mama is so black. No, my mama is so rainbow, so red, so orange, so yellow, so green. It is no surprise that the sun still shines in her eyes even when it rains. And standing at her feet, I have always been her pot of gold. You know, your mama would be ashamed if she knew you was talking about somebody else's mama without having a single clue what they've been through. But maybe I'm just being sensitive. After all, some of them jokes was funny, right? And it's crazy because I still find myself championing for her. It's crazy because it seems like the peace that I now have creates war between her and I. Which is really, it's really strange. For me. But on the good note, I got some good news. Today is what, the 22nd? Okay, so November 5th. What we got? Carry the one. We got a couple of days till I celebrate my first year wedding anniversary. Have you ever notice when everything is lining up, your spirit is pure, you manifesting, you speaking everything into existence, your vibrations, your frequencies are right, that's when shit just start happening. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like, shit just start fucking happening out of nowhere. So, like, the anniversary is coming up, and lately I've been seeing, like, some of her exes just fucking pop up. And I'm not really a confrontational dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll fucking fight, but I'm not confrontational. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be confrontational with them, so I want to say something, but I don't want to say something, but I want to say something. So I just decided to write all these niggas a letter. This is a letter to my wife's exes. Dear y'all. Now, let me start off by saying that I don't know any of you niggas. And I do hope you find the happiness you deserve. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't happy that the happiness you deserve wasn't found in the happiness that is heard, because if it was, well, then I wouldn't happen to have heard that you had been asking about it. But since I heard you've been asking about her, I figured I'd let your ass know. She's doing great. Yeah, man, she still hates to read, still shows up late to fucking everything, but who am I talking to? I'm sure to you this comes as no surprise. She still has that sparkle in her eye that makes it hard for you to look at her for too long without becoming religious and thanking God for being in this position. She's still very much in the shoes, and that smile, bro, I swear to God, that smile is just as radiant as it used to be. And it probably does the same thing to me as it did to you. And I know you're asking yourself right now, like, is this nigga serious? Did he really write a poem about this shit? I moved on. I'm happy. None of this shit matters. But like I said, I heard you've been asking about it. So I started to question your happiness. Because honestly, shit, I'd question mine if I didn't have her. Because I know if she chose to move on and love chose to let go, that I'd make at least one more attempt to grab her. I know I'd say whatever I had to say for one more night of having her. And after I realized I could no longer have it, I'd probably go from talking shit to just wanting to talk, even though I know I'd make no sense. So, yo, bro, I get it. A broken heart can have you speaking in pieces. Emotions can have you saying a lot of different things, knowing you don't mean it, especially when you know she's done. And you completely shed that perfect image and start speaking to an angel with such a forked tongue. She gotta be your biggest regret. I know for me, I tend to breathe differently when she leaves, and with me, she comes back. So for you, I'd imagine life to feel a lot like an asthma attack. And I'm not one to hate, so I pray for your respiratory system every day. I mean, other than our height, our personality trait, what we've been through, what we look like, we really know different, right? We all undeserving, probably all of question if we were even worthier, felt guilty for bringing so much of our dirty laundry into a life of a woman who likes to keep things so clean. And I know this sounds like an insecurity thing, but it's not. When she tells me she loves me, I don't doubt her. Honestly, bro, it's more like a comparison thing, because I don't know who's stronger. Me for having the strength to hold on to her for the rest of my life, or you having to survive the rest of yours without her. She's rare. Like an unfinished novel, yet somehow already a classic. The best book I have ever spoken to, and you are blessed to have been a chapter in her story, and I can only hope to continue to grace the blank pages that have yet to be written. See, I used to think that my biggest fear was like, I don't know, dying before the age of 25 or not reaching my full potential. But when it hits you, and you realize that your biggest fear is not to become just another failed student, all because you skimmed through her pages, didn't retain the information, didn't respect the content, and definitely didn't handle the book with care. Sometimes you find yourself talking about it to the most unexpected people, all because I don't want to become you, just another reader, borrowing her time only to put her back on the shelf and risk the chance of somebody else realizing there is no other book in this library of life more valuable, bro. You put her back. See, when that book falls into your lap, you gotta know what to do with it, and I don't blame you, bro. If I was you, I'd be walking up and down these aisles looking for one just like her too, but please remember, God does not make duplicates. You put her back. And for that, I thank you. I thank you. I thank God, and I thank every single one of her exes for their illiteracy. You know, they say that if God gives you a gift and you don't use it, he'll take it away. He really does. And there's been a lot of phenomenal poets who got on the stage, every single one of them. Shout out to them. But you don't need to put me on stage with a circle of people with the same problem for me to admit that I have an addiction because I abuse it every fucking chance I get. See, I now realize God gave me a gift, so I no longer fight this shit. And I can't recall how many times I've called in sick just so I can write this shit uninterrupted with no distractions, no corruption, just me and my thoughts dancing with each other's hearts until my wrists give way to my lips taking over. And then what comes out is like beautiful medicine. Music to your eardrums. This ink is intoxicating. I never wanted to be sober. Prentice Powell is an addict. Tell a friend. Tell a friend I have something valid to say in a time when broken down the dopest lines disintegrate to nonsense. In a time where a man who puts his heart into his art gets overlooked because his work contains content. So call me a junkie. Call me contaminated when the words on the radio have 12-year-olds walking around seeking affection, walking around brain dead, thinking with their erections, living with no fear. We got rappers telling our peers how to live. Stay strapped, pack a gat, says a man with 14 kids who still hasn't realized he's in the streets using the wrong kind of protection. So I'm constantly trying to find ways of connecting the brothers who live life so backwards you would think they were dyslexic. So in case any of you are in here, allow me to break it down to you. That understand, please, hurt and love of space A from right right from a space of love and hurt. Please understand that from learn to person one, at least have they so sons my four right right for my sons so they have at least one person to learn from. Now it get you do you get it now? We're living blind with our right eye open and left closed. Exposed to videos, hoes, and balling, and I ain't gonna lie, I tried to kick this poetry shit with Cito, bro. You know, when you pick up a pen, that ink could just keep on calling, you know. A lot of people want to call me a good father and want insight into my personal life, but I tell them don't look, because if they did, I'm scared they see how many times I neglected my kids for my notebook. I'm constantly on Twitter checking to see if my poetry gets a mention. Hate staying in hotels when I travel because I'm scared of walking into an intervention. Shit, I'm high right now. You know, sometimes I swear I caught what Gil Scott got. Sometimes I feel like a shell of my former self, a turkey without the stuff. And last night, I threw on some mid-60s soul music and found myself itching for my pen again. Now I'm on my David Ruffin. This temptation is so strong. I got people telling me to hold on, but how can I do so when the most therapeutic thing to do in my life is write and simply let go? Amy Winehouse, gone. Kurt Cobain, gone. Whitney, gone. Either by pen or syringe. Being on stage is like flying high on a 5-day coke binge. This is my life. This shit ain't for everybody. You gotta have strong veins because this poetry shit can cut deep. My bad. I've been up here doing poems and I never took the time to introduce myself, y'all. Hi, my name is There Is No You. There is only who I want you to be. From your latest cell phones to the style seen in your most recent videos to my implementation to what you call swag. If you can't brag about how many women you have or the $200 denim on your ass, you are worthless. Your purse is not hot if it is a fall edition and we are in the winter. And as long as your kids have Jordans on their feet, it is okay if they have to eat top ramen for a week for dinner. Your check is in the mail. You fail at becoming grown men, so you don't bother with your younger ones. Give them to me. I'll program them to Viacom. Have them growing up with a single mom and no males to emulate, and wonder why so many begin to have extensive rap sheets and ADD with no off switch, and download a defense that is nothing but false self-confidence shown through them being overly aggressive. Your misguided women want nothing but diamonds and Fendi, or dreams of finding a professional athlete to pay for their lives, because to them being a wife is not a lifestyle, it is trendy. Trendy to have like a little black dog carried around in a bag. The demasculinization of your black man is going according to plan. Flip the coin, and for those who have chose not to go down that road, make sure that any statement they make that may challenge their masculinity are followed by statements of insecurity. No homo, we can't have them thinking for themselves. Program dreams to be a mirage. Close enough to see, yet too far to reach. Set their aesthetics to pathetic, AK camouflage, allow them to blend in. Keyword trend. Downtown corners full of rappers who refuse to give up even though their shit sucks, but will allow them to say their piece. At the very least, it'll make them a quick buck. Any more success, initiate operation exploitation. Throw them a bit more cash. I am the system. Programmed to initiate commands. You niggas, you people are programmed not to ask. Empty vessels who have sold their souls a long time ago, and you call me robotic. I am the system. Systematically set to just do. You are systematically set to just do and not think, and you call me robotic. Error, redundancy, error, repeat, error, redundancy, error, repeat. Pardon me. I was scanning your culture's current popular music. You want a cop to pay for killing one of you, but carry a no snitching policy in your own community, which allows you niggas, you people to have absolutely no accountability. Irony, overload, reset. I am the system. Systematically set to desensitize your senses, senseless activities surround your society, simultaneously making you love me while shaking in your boots. And for those who dare to overthrow me, allow me to remind thee, 'tis I who provides you with the land and seeds you use to grow your little grassroots. I am the system. Thank you all.